Too many grown men on social media that literally love to sit around and make excuses, and y'all literally be clowns in real life and don't have an ability to produce anything from your mind. I grew up in Oakland, California. You understand me? And in Oakland, California, we had what we call FY class, which is Fruit of Islam, which was manhood development and training. In that manhood development and training, we learn how to fight. We learn how to do business. We learn how to discipline ourselves. We learn militant drilling. We learn how to take orders. We learn how to give orders. We learn how to lead. We learn how to follow. You understand me? We learn the characteristics and the ethics and the morality of what it means to be a man today. And the one thing that we never learned was the ability to make consistent excuses and blame another man for your failures in life. And unfortunately, this is not the reality that most men grew up with. The first black millionaire that I knew, or first millionaire that I knew of, was a black man. I seen possibility. The first school that I went to, yeah, it was a black school. You know what I'm talking about? So my thinking, my education, my program, and my paradigm was different. But guess what? Some of y'all gonna say, "Well, we ain't had that, Keys. You had two-parent household." Listen, pops wasn't always there. I can come up if y'all want to play the excuses game. I'm not good at making them, but I promise you I can come up with the same reasoning. Before the age of 19, I was locked up like 10 times. I caught like 3, 4 cases. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't even about to go into my resume of trauma. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't finish. I went to college for a few months, didn't finish because I caught a case. You know what I'm talking about? I grew up in Oakland. I was born in St. Louis. These are always high on the murder rate and a crime rate. You understand me? Every year of my life as I grew up. Excuses were never something that I could intake. Excuses were never something that I ate and let feed me. Every single day, we had to figure out how to get it. There was days that shit we stayed in my mom's van. You understand me? And nights that we had to stay in the shelter because we didn't have a place to stay. You know what I'm talking about? Being on WIC and food stamps and things of that nature. So when I hear people make excuses, even because of their reality, shit, y'all not about to get me with that. Y'all not about to get empathy from me on that. You know what I'm talking about? Just because you good at making excuses, you not about to get that from me at all. I talked about this 4 or 5 years ago when I first started teaching about Bitcoin. This was the reason I literally came up with this quote: interact with opportunity, don't react to success. And I'll bring in some of my old lectures and I'll bring it to you. And the reason I said that is because our people wait till things are successful, then they tap in. We don't interact with opportunity, we react to success. We are a very reactionary people, not revolutionary. We reactionary people. We only listen to the revolutionaries when it's reactionary and when everybody else is on it. You listen to the revolutionaries when another black man died. Boy, I tell you, if we had Black Death right now, we'd be all be talking about let's get in black wealth. We'd be talking about protect black women. Even though most marriages fail from the lack of resources, funding, money. You know what I'm talking about? How you gonna protect somebody you ain't got no resources? There's a war outside. Can't go to war without money. How you gonna protect somebody? Think about that, young black man, young black woman. Interact with opportunity, don't react to success. You know what I'm talking about? What you do frequently controls your frequency. You become that frequency. You understand me? Procrastination is the abortion clinic of ideas. So the more you wait, the more you abort in a good idea. You know what I'm talking about? And it never gets to grow legs and become anything big and tangible and real. You know what I'm talking about? So when we give opportunities and produce these opportunities and you consistently abort the idea in your head, because I don't know if I should spend it on that, but you went and bought some weed. You ain't even think about smoking that money away because you needed to get rid of your anxiety because of your lack of resources. Because you insecure about your life, so you need something to try to escape it. Damn, imagine if you had the resources where you didn't need to escape your reality. When it actually save you money. Imagine if you loved yourself, you may not need to drink so much. Imagine if you actually enjoyed the new mindset that you have, you'll be less stressed and depressed. You might do less drugs, save you some money actually. It could save your relationship when you're able to control your time. See, it's different what we working to produce over here. Because the dependent man is not a man at all. That's a boy. A boy depends on his father. So ask yourself, damn, who is your father? It could be your work father. Is it the political father? The Joe Bidens and the Trumps of the world? Who is your father? Who you depending on? That's the question. We don't investigate opportunities. You understand me? And we over audit assets. When we over audit something, I mean like you overthinking about it. You got to analyze it from point A to point Z. You know what I'm talking about? And we under audit liabilities. Like we don't really think about the liability costs from how much money that we're spending on things that's actually taking us away from what the type of life that we want to live and the type of person that we want to be. We don't even think about it. We don't think about that. Think about this for a second. Let's say that, somebody on here makes $50,000 a year. You know what I'm talking about? Now let's say you make $10,000. Let's say you spent $10,000 on weed last year. Maybe some of y'all ain't got that big of a smoking habit. Somebody do. I don't know what's the average that people spend on weed anymore. Let's go to a lower price. Let's go about $5,000. You know what I'm talking about? Matter of fact, let's go to 3,000. Think about something you spent $3,000 on. You understand me? Last year, whether it was food, whether it was a club, whatever it may be. The average person spent at least $74 a night when they go to the club. You could have took that same $3,000 that you spent last year on the club, and you could have bought Bitcoin March 3rd. If you would have bought it then, it would have went up to $50,000. But I want you to double think on this, because you didn't know the opportunity, right? And I'm gonna pull out my phone. I'm gonna do some more mathematics before you. Because you didn't know the opportunity, you didn't even know that weed cost you. Hold on. Just in that weed cost you $50,000 or $45,000. Matter of fact, Bitcoin is at its new all-time high, $55,000, 765. So you ain't know your habits cost you. Matter of fact, let's just look at the last month. Think about something that you put your money in it was some bullshit. That didn't give you no return on it. If you would have took that same amount of money and you would have put it in Bitcoin, you would have been up 55% just in the last month. Just the last month. Let's forget about last year. In the last month, if you would have listened and you would have tapped in the last month, you would have got 55% return. What does that mean? That means if you would have put the $100 in Bitcoin instead of the weed, you would have got $150. You know what I'm talking about? And the only reason I'm picking on weed is because it's something that a lot of people do and justify. And what I'm trying to get you to do is understand your spending habits, because it directly correlates with your future reality. See, when you buy something you can't afford, you borrowing from your future self. Like, man, I really remember when starting off with this stuff and being so confident that it would end up here and not needing a validation from anybody at all. Family, not needing validation from friends, not needing validation from nobody, that it will end up where it is today. Because once you believe in God, nothing can supersede that belief. See, the belief in self is the belief in God. Many of y'all say y'all follow God. See, when you believe in God, you believe in self. Most of y'all don't understand that correlation. You don't correlate God to self. How can you believe in God and you believe God made man, God made woman, and not believe in yourself? If God made you, even if you believe it from a different standpoint, then how come you not confident in what you think? God made your mind, right? He made the brain, the body. How you don't believe in yourself? People be so insecure. And I'm going to teach in this mindset part where it's going to allow you to have the ability to audit yourself from a higher level vantage point. We're going to go in because I want people to kill this mindset that they have. And I want y'all to understand it from this point. I want you to think about it. This is you. And I want you to be honest. Don't even comment nothing, because I don't want you to start lying. Because lying kills purpose. Because it kills your willpower. Because subconsciously you stop believing yourself and you stop manifesting on those thoughts. Because they stop operating at an electrical high level. Because only truth is high electrical energy. Lies are not high electrical energy. But you can say a lie to self so much you start to believe it. But you still confuse self and you decrease your own abilities to produce out your mind. But it's some people when they start something, and I want y'all to comment one if you know these type of people. When you hear a person say they go do something, they 100% go get it done. They like a bull to a red flag. They own it. The moment they get an idea, it ain't no plan B, C, D, They own it. They obsessed with it till they execute it, and it's done from A to Z. If you know some of those kind of people, press one. That person, I mean, it's admirable because it don't matter. It could be a very small thing that they say. You know, they keeping they word is just bonded with themselves. That they don't even know how to lie to themselves. Like once they get an idea, it could be a big ass idea. They go get it done. You be like, man, I'm not down that person. That's not the type of person that play around when they say they go get something done. That mindset they got right there, that's the type of person that glue themselves to their thoughts and they words. And they just go for it. Like a bull on hunt, like a shark in the water. They say they go build up this, they go write this book. Know the book is getting written. Because they go clear everything else out their schedule and focus. Because concentration of passion is how you manifest. Concentration is being able to focus for a prolonged period of time. So when you're able to focus for a prolonged period of time, you have guaranteed yourself the ability to manifest because you're producing it from a level of passion. And so you gotta understand what passion is. See, I'm gonna give you these metaphysical keys because this is what I built my reality off of. This is what the mindset was produced. This is what the God level was produced from. Now, press two if you know somebody. They said they go do something, but you're not sure they'll get it done. They said they go do something, but then next week they on to a whole nother idea that sounds good as well. This idea sounds as brilliant as the first idea. Press two, you know somebody that they in one relationship, seem like they all in. Next week they in another one that they all in. One week they working a job, you know what I'm saying? This is the job that's their career. Next couple of months they on to a whole nother job. They always flip-flopping. They can't stick to just one thing. They 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 always got a new business idea they throwing at you. How about this one this week? Well, next week they got another one for you. Oh, I tried that one. It looked like that one was gonna be good, but they ain't stick to it. They on the next one already. Zoom. They bought one course. I might buy the other course. This course ain't working out for me. Damn. Is it the course or is it you? Of course it's you. Pun intended. Of course it's you. Stop letting society dictate your reality. Your age ain't got nothing to do with your abilities. I don't care what age you in. You can use it. I, Stop. Society had got people so messed up that we look at certain ages as a dictation upon our potential and our abilities. Like some people wait until they're 18. Some people say, "Nah, I'm not old enough. I'm 21. I'm gonna get into some grown stuff like y'all." Some people wait until they turn to 25 or 30. Society's so messed up. Listen, in Hispanic culture, you turn 16, you grown. In parts of the world, you 15, you grown. Like we live in America and be waiting to turn 18 and 21 to smoke and drink so we can say we now mature enough for life. Smoking and drinking ain't got shit to do with maturity. Just because the average person goes to college at 18 doesn't mean that's when opportunities start. The whole age thing is the biggest scam on the planet. I know a 14-year-old, no, he was 12 when he started his business. He first wanted to be a rapper. Then he decided to go into entrepreneurship and he made $1 million. Started making $100,000 a month. I helped convince his mom for him to be homeschooled. And after that, his business blew the hell up when he started focusing on it full time. Had a billboard in Times Square, interviewed on CNN, had some of the greatest influencers, entertainers, my brother Spurgo, promoted his business. I don't care what age you at. If you smart enough to listen, learn, and apply, you ready to go. The problem is we teach our children to be stupid until they get to a certain age because we have somehow equated living life with stupidity. We've equated living life with stupidity. No, go out there and be stupid and just continue to live. And then once you get older, you can be more focused. I don't know who taught us that, but it was it had to be somebody who was stupid as well. Don't listen to that. I know another little brother who started trading options. His mother taught him. She was in the military, and she taught her daughter. This brother, 15 years old. I forgot how old is the daughter. She taught her husband as well. Trading options. Brother had his best day in the market at $70,000. 6 figures a month trading options on his own. Not from what his mom told him to trade, because he learned the skill set. Sister out there making 6 figures a year on her own. And I know she had to be like 12 or something. I don't remember how old she was, but she young as hell. My uncle, man, Uncle they dog back. I really do wish he was around more to see this black world order that we built. Because he remember when I was struggling, hustling every single day. And he said, Keys, you know, you philosophical as shit, but he said, you be executing though. That's what I like about you. And I ain't forget. I ain't forget that because he taught me how to think long term. He said, y'all be trying to get today money and y'all not thinking long term. He said, you got to start thinking long term when it comes to this money. You know what I'm saying? He showed me some checks that he got. He said, look at this check. Check was like $250,000. He said, this is from work I did a year, 2 years ago. When he put the contract in for some energy companies that he built. And that inspired the hell out of me. You know what I'm talking about? Because I was always thinking for next week. I was always thinking for next month. And when I started to make investments and I wasn't thinking on, oh, I need this to come into fruition now. Like, no, like this investment is for next year. This might not hit to another 2 years. And even though my situation required money for the next day and the next week and the next month, I stopped eliminating that pressure on me and I started thinking far out because I realized that if I would have did that 2 years ago, then I would have been reaping the rewards today and I wouldn't be bothered about how I'm going to pay next month, how I'm going to pay next week. So at some point in time, you got to stop thinking for the next day. At some point in time, you got to start thinking for your future so that your present can be the reward for the work that you put in the past. At some point in time, like, you got to make moves that even though you need your rent next month, you still got to do something that's going to pay you for next year. Because next year coming as long as you alive. As long as you alive, it's coming. You didn't think February 19th, 2021 was guaranteed to you? What did you do February 19th, 2020? That you could have guaranteed you to have some money in. You could have played a stock option. You could have invested in crypto. You could have invested in your business. You could have invested in somebody else's business. You could have learned a new skill set. You could have got that education. You didn't invest in yourself. So now you ain't got nothing coming to you today. Where's the return on your investments? They're not coming because you didn't invest. So when my uncle gave me that game, man, he really changed my life because he allowed me to see my future. And I remember when I was fighting the case, my older brother, my pops co-defendant, assault case, I was facing up to 7 to 10 years in prison. And as we was fighting, I couldn't see my future. You rob your future self with the decisions that you make today, or you invest in your future self with decisions that you make today. And so if you ain't got nobody in your life that can change your mindset like the way I had and had people in my life, then you will continue to be influenced by the same thing that builds your current reality. Even bros, like the way you moving with women gotta change. Like, right, like he told me, he said, man, listen, y'all can get all these women, but it's like you just want to have sex with her. That could have been your secretary. Like you just want to have sex with her for a moment, but shit, y'all could have started a business together. She might have been able to file the paperwork that you needed. You're not even seeing the true value. Like he was scolding me. And I'm like, damn, you're right. He said, y'all want to be all cute and shit, but I'm saying, like, you niggas think y'all players because you know how to waste value. The player shit is actually getting players in the game, and you playing coach. So, unfortunately, we was taught the wrong way. We was taught how to waste value, not invest in value. We was taught how to waste value. You got niggas who will literally take their skill sets and their articulation and work to become pimps at manipulating women and protecting them while they hold themselves out. And these niggas run a business where they got 5, 10 of them. They got the ability to masterfully manipulate women. So that means that y'all could have been running a high level goddamn firm. Y'all could have been building a business with your abilities here. You got a whole ability to organize this many people and have them sell their body for you. What could you have done if you had an actual righteous skill set? And we still got a culture where men and women rap about pimping. Like that's the one thing, even when women rap about it and men rap about it, like pimping is the weakest, gayest culture ever. And niggas and women still rap about that shit. I don't want to hear about you being no pimp. That's some weak ass shit. Like, you can't get it out your own mind. You got to utilize somebody else's body for you to be able to make money. They got to have sex for money for you to be able to make money. That's some weak. My mom always taught me pimps was faggots. So they don't even know how to value women. That's faggots. So no, we not doing that. I don't want to see the women out here. They be sitting there with them hairy chest ass sugar daddies, and they look like that could be their daughter, but they ain't got no money. And that's their way to an opportunity because people told them how beautiful they was their whole life and sexualized them their whole life. And nobody told them that they had a beautiful mind that they can develop skill sets and learn how to do for self. The culture don't teach love no more. The culture don't teach how, men and women supposed to treat each other. The culture don't teach how we can develop relationships. The culture don't teach shit. So it's like, even as I'm learning, as you learning, none of this is not to make nobody feel guilty because none of us is perfect, but it's like, at some point in time, we got to just stop, reevaluate. It could have been last week. It could have been yesterday. It could be today. But the beautiful thing about life is the opportunity to change always exists in the now because the now is the only thing that exists. So you ain't got to feel bad for things that you've done when you change the things that you're doing. You ain't got to feel you might have I might have did something bad yesterday, but shit, I'm not gonna do it again because I'm self-reflective. You know what? I always say you can be mad at who I was, but not who I am. You could have had a mindset where you allow people to influence you to do things that really ain't good for you. Like, why does, and I want y'all to answer this for me, my women out there. Why does sexual freedom looks like posting on Instagram? What do that have to do with you with self-love? When does self-love become I need to be naked on Instagram? I don't get it. See, I'm all for loving yourself, loving your body, your mind, loving every curve and every inch of you. Because society do make it hard for women to love themselves because they put up a competing comparative narrative all day long. It's very hard for women to love themselves because they just make you compete against every standard. Whether you shapely, whether you fit, you understand me? Whatever it may be, it makes it hard for you to love yourself. Now, I try to understand, how does shaking ass and showing titties equate to self-love? Self-love means shit. That's for yourself. So for me, it's a lack of self-love because you need everybody else to appreciate you to validate the love that you want to have for yourself. It's the opposite of self-love. It's everybody else love. That's what you're fighting for. See, self-love is that's private. That's just for me. I've been in Puerto Rico, sleeping by myself for the last 2 weeks or the last week or so. Self-love. I love myself. I be sitting, meditating in places, chilling. I ain't got to post up everything that I do. Why? So y'all can give me love and I can feel better about myself? Self-love is not the world giving you love and you feeling better about yourself. Self-love is not you posting how much you love yourself. It's just about you loving yourself. See, that's insecure love. That's insecurities. And the reason I'm speaking on this because the moment you start loving yourself for real, then you start investing in yourself. Then you start doing the things to build your future up. Then you start making selfish acts towards yourself. Then you start educating yourself because you really love yourself. So I'm not going to miss out on my opportunities to build myself up. I worked out twice today because I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. How many times did I post that on the gram? Not once. That was myself. That was my self-love right there. I'm doing that for self. I ain't doing that for y'all. I ain't do that for y'all. I'm working out, so when I walk, I want my legs to feel good. So I make sure I did extra workout. Man, the best things never make the ground because that's true self-love.